Good afternoon. So, we Erode Sengunda Engineering College, Tamil Nadu is conducting a scheme under AICT Prerana for SC/ST students for preparing the higher education. That is, example, we can say GATE. So, myself, J. Arun Prasad, Assistant Professor, Erode Sengunda Engineering College, and from the Civil Department. Today, we will be discussing about structural analysis. Okay, structural analysis, it is coming under structural engineering. So first we'll be seeing an introduction about the structural analysis. Then we'll be going for some basic MCQs. So structural analysis. So it is nothing but it is the analysis of a given structure to some given loads. Okay. And how it is responding to the load. That is a system. The total system, how it is responding to the given load. So this is the basic definition for the structural analysis. So in other words, it is application where you can say structural analysis is the application of solid mechanics to predict the response, that is force and displacement of a given structure that is existing or proposed new one to a specified loads. So this here we have a pictorial representation giving a load as an input. If it is acting in the system, the structure, what are the response that we can able to find out. So loads, inputs which will be acting in a loads, that is it will be acting in a dead load, that is self weight of the component, or imposed load, that is live loads, wind loads, snow load, and rain, temperature, reaction load, seismic, etc. These are the loads which will be acting in a structure or in a system. The structural analysis is ascertained correct when the following requirements are satisfied. So these three things plays a major role. It is major thing in analyzing a structure. So whatever the structure it may be, it should satisfy the equilibrium conditions or compatibility displacement, or it should we have to find out the force and displacement, how much it is acting in it. Okay. So why we have to find out these three? Why we have to analyze these three? For stability of the structure, for strengthening the structure, to know how much stiffness it required and how much we need, and economy, major thing, economy of a structure in cost wise, and aesthetic appearance. Okay. Then softwares which are used here is by principle, that is from the basic of structural analysis, or whatever the software using the structural analysis methods: Orion, STAT, ANSYS, Axis VM, ETABS, SAP, and so many. Right? And here are some pictorial representation of the supports, different type of supports which will be acting in a system. So roller support, pinned, hinge support, fixed. We can give a link or a ball or socket. Rigid support, that is fixed. Spring support. So when we are coming to the structure, different type of structures are framed structure. You can see a picture here. Trusses, cell structure, and an arch like a bridges, suspension structure, and mass structure. Overall, everything will be coming mass structure, composite. Right. So here are some pictorial representation. Next, we will be going into the important thing. So determinate structures. So we need to find out the compatibility condition. So first we will find out the statically determinate or indeterminate. So we will first find out these things. So first, statically determinate structures. the structure for which the reaction at the supports and the internal forces. It may be stresses or temperature or maybe shear force, bending moment, whatever the internal forces acting in the member. It can be found out by the conditions of static equilibrium. Okay, if we can find out the internal forces by using the condition of static equilibrium, then we can say it as statically determinate structures. So some examples are simply supported beams, cantilever, single and double overhanging beams, then arches like three-hinged arches. So what are the conditions? Static conditions, the equilibrium conditions. Sigma h equal to 0, that is horizontal force is equal to 0, vertical force is equal to 0, then moment. Then we have a formula 2j equal to m plus r, where j is the joints and m is the members. Right? So these formula will be varying based on the type of the structure. Next, statically indeterminate or redundant structure. So here you can see the reaction, the support, and the internal forces, the same internal forces, if we cannot find out by the equilibrium condition, by using the same three conditions, then we will be calling it a statically indeterminate structure. Okay. So here are some examples for that: fixed beam, continuous beams, fixed arches, two-hinged arches, frame portals, multi-story frames. Right. Next, we will go find the degree of freedom, that is degree of redundancy. So degree of redundancy is defined as the number of unknown reactive restraints, that is stresses, over and above the number of condition equations for a solution. Okay. That is, it is given as degree of redundancy equal to external redundancy plus internal redundancy, E plus I. That is, we need to find the externally indeterminate type. Also, we have to find the internal in a system. If we find out and if we are adding the both, we will be getting the degree of redundancy. That is, at which coordinate or how many coordinates it is available for the given structure. So first we'll be discussing that externally indeterminate structure of system. So if equations of static equilibrium are not sufficient to determine all the unknown reactions, it is vertical horizontal moment, it is called as externally indeterminate structure or externally redundant structure. So it is given by capital E equal to small capital R minus small r. So capital R is nothing but total number of reaction component in a structure, in a system, and small r is nothing but total number of condition equations. So from this we can find out the externally indeterminate values, that coordinate value we will find out. Similarly, if the equation of static equilibrium are not sufficient to determine all the internal forces and moments in the member of the structure, even though all the external forces acting. So you can highlight here that what is the difference between the external and internal. So even the external forces acting on the structure, we can't find out the internal forces. That is, we can't analyze it. Those type of structures is called internally indeterminate structure or redundant structures. Okay. So it is given by the formula I equal to m minus 2j minus r. So m total number of members, J is the joint, R is the total number of condition equations. And see here, these are the some examples for the statically determinate or statically indeterminate in case of beams, trusses and frames. Okay. So we will summarize the what is determinate and indeterminate. Then we will be going for some that is objective type we will be going in. Few objective type we will be discussing. Okay, before that we will be discussing, we will summarize what is this determinate and indeterminate. So determinate. So equilibrium conditions are fully adequate to analyze the structure. So that is the three equations equilibrium conditions is enough to analyze the structure. So in indeterminate structure, the conditions of equilibrium are not adequate to fully analyze the structure. Okay. Next, second, the bending moment or shear force at any section is independent of the material property of the structure. In case of determinate structures, while you are coming to indeterminate, the bending moment or shear force at any sections depend on the material property. Okay, so what are the material we are using? It will be depending on the bending moment and shear force will be depending on it. Next, the bending moment or shear force at any section is independent of the cross section or the moment of inertia. Okay, and while coming to indeterminate, here also same, but the bending moment of shear force at any section depends on the cross section or moment of inertia. Okay. Next, temperature variations do not cause stresses in determinate structures. Here in indeterminate, temperature variations causes stresses. Then next, no stresses are caused due to lack of it, and here stresses will be caused because temperature is varying, internal forces acting, so stresses will be caused. Next, extra conditions other than the compatibility conditions, equilibrium condition, there is no need of any other equation to analyze the structure. That is, extra condition like compatibility of displacement are not required to analyze the structure. So while you are coming to indeterminate, extra conditions like compatibility of displacement are required to analyze the structure along with the equilibrium equations. Okay. So these are the basics in structural engineering. Next, we'll be discussing some objectives. So first one. So degree of static indeterminacy of a rigid jointed plate frame having 15 members and 3 reaction components and 14 joints. Okay, so we're having a structure of 15 members. It's a plane frame and 3 reaction components is there and 14 joints. So you can draw it and you can find the answer now. So the options are, so degree of static indeterminacy may be 2, 3, 6 or 8. So you can find it and you will be getting the answer as 6. Okay, so I hope everyone got the answer as 6. Okay, next, the fixed support in a real beam becomes in a conjugate beam. Yeah, that is a fixed support in a real beam. What will happen in the conjugate beam? It will become a rodal support or a hinged support or a fixed or a free end? I think you have found out the answer. So you'll be making it as a free end and you will be analyzing the beam, right? So when you're coming to real beam, the fixed beam will be becoming a free end. So in the displacement method, right? So we have so many methods. So in the displacement method of section analysis, the basic unknowns are displacement, force, displacement and force, none of the above. So I will be having a unknown as displacement, right? So next, the property of a material by which it can be drawn to a smaller section due to tension is called plasticity or ductility or elasticity or malleability. So here I given the answer directly this ductility. Okay, so due to tension, if you are drawing the material property, this property into a smaller section, so it will, we can say it as a ductility. It will be coming in a ductility. So see the statement, that is first one. The displacement method is more useful when degree of kinematic indeterminacy is greater than the degree of static indeterminacy. Okay. So the displacement method is more useful when degree of kinematic indeterminacy is less than the degree of static indeterminacy. Third one, the force method is more useful when degree of static indeterminacy is greater than the degree of kinematic indeterminacy. The final option is the force method is more useful when degree of static indeterminacy is less than the degree of kinematic indeterminacy. So the correct answer, which may be the correct answer? So first option, either the first and third, or second and third. So first and fourth, second and fourth. So read the question carefully and you can answer it. So the correct answer will be second and fourth. So that is, this displacement method is more useful when the degree of kinematic indeterminacy is less than the degree of static indeterminacy, and the force method is more useful when degree of static indeterminacy is less than the degree of kinematic indeterminacy. Okay. Next, the phenomenon of slow growth of strain under a steady tensile stress. So it is called yielding or creeping or breaking or none of this. So if it is a slow growth of strain under a steady tensile stress, so the answer is creeping. Okay. So next, the shear force on simply supported beam is proportional to displacement of the neutral axis, sum of the forces, sum of the transverse forces, or the algebraic sum of the transverse forces of the section. So find out the answer. So the answer is the algebraic sum of transverse force of the section. Okay, so that will be the proportional to shear force on a simply supported beam. So the number of independent equations to be satisfied for a static equilibrium of a plane structure is 1, 2, 3, or 6. So I will read again. The number of independent equations to be satisfied for static equilibrium of a plane structure is 1, 2, 3, or 6. So the answer is 3. So 3 number of independent equations is required for satisfying the plane structure. So next. So if there are m unknown member forces, okay, or unknown reaction components. So we have a m unknown member forces or unknown reaction components and j number of joints. Okay, then the degree of static indeterminacy of a pin jointed plane frame. So what will be the formula for it? It is given by m plus r plus 2j, m minus r plus 2j, m plus r minus 2j, m plus r minus 3j. So what will be the answer? Okay, we'll find the answer. So that is m plus r minus 2j. Okay, for finding a static indeterminacy, it is degree of static indeterminacy for a pin jointed plane frame. So next, if in a rigid jointed space frame, okay, 6m plus r greater than 6j, then the frame is unstable, stable and statically determinate, stable and statically indeterminate, none of the above. So if the 6m plus r, less than 6j, the frame is unstable or stable statically, indeterminate, or none of the above. So what will be the answer? So the frame will become a unstable structure. Okay. So next. So the degree of kinematic indeterminacy of a pin jointed space frame is given by 2j minus r, 3j minus r, j minus 2r, j minus 3r. So for the pin jointed space frame, what is the degree of kinematic indeterminacy? So the answer is B, 3j minus r. So you note down this. So what is this pin jointed static indeterminate formula and kinematic indeterminacy? Okay. So next, the principle of virtual work can be applied to the elastic system by considering the virtual work of internal forces only, external forces only, internal as well as external forces, none of the above. So what will be the virtual work when we are applying in an elastic system. So it will be, we have to consider the both internal as well as the external forces. Then only we can find out that is, we will analyze this structure. It may be in while you are coming in a trusses analysis part, we can find out easily. So next, Castigliano's first theorem is applicable for statically determined structures only when the system behaves elastically, only when principle of superposition is valid, or none of the above. Okay, so where we can apply this theorem, that is Castigliano first theorem. So only the principle of superposition is valid. So when it is valid only, we can apply the Castigliano's first theorem. Okay. So next, principle of superposition is applicable when deflections are linear functions of applied forces, materials obey Hooke's law, the action of applied forces will be affected by small deformation of the structure, none of the above. So when the superposition principle will be applicable? So when the deflections are linear functions of the applied forces. Okay. So next, in the moment distribution method, factors of all the members meeting at n is 0, less than 1, or 1, or greater than 1. So what is the answer? When it is analyzing using this moment distribution method, the sum of distribution factors of all the members meeting at any joint, it will be 1. Okay. So next, the carryover factor. The same in moment distribution, the carryover factor in a prismatic member whose far end is fixed. So what will be the carryover factor? Will it be 0, or half, or 3 by 4, or 1? So it will become as half, the carryover factor in a prismatic member when the far end is fixed. So in the slope deflection equation, the deformations are considered to be caused by bending moment, shear force, axial force. So the correct answer, what will be the correct answer? In case of slope deflection method, the deformations are considered to be caused by what are the following? Bending moment will be a shear force or axial force. Only bending moment and shear force, or shear force and axial force, or everything. So only the bending moment. Okay, the answer will be only the bending moment. So next, the deflection at any point of a perfect frame can be obtained by applying a unit load at the joint in vertical direction, horizontal direction, inclined, the direction in which the deflection is required. So what will be the answer? So we have to find the deflection by applying a unit load at the joint in vertical direction or horizontal or inclined, or wherever the deflection is occurring or deflection required. So the answer is the direction in which the deflection is required. Okay. So the three moment equation is applicable only when beam is prismatic, there is no settlement of supports, if there is no continuity, so that is hinges in between the span, if the spans are equal. So in which case the three moment equation is applicable. So if there is no discontinuity, that is any hinges or anything in between the span, then we can use the three moment equation. So while using the three moment equation, a fixed end of a continuous beam is replaced by an additional span of zero length, infinite length, zero moment of inertia, or another above. So fixed end will be replaced by additional. What will be adding? We'll be adding a zero length. So nothing. Okay, while using the three moment equation. So next, the Castigliano's second theorem can be used to compute deflections in statically determinate structures only for any type of structure at the point under the load only for the beams and frames only. So where the second theorem is useful, it is applicable. So for any type of structures, you can use this theorem. Okay. So the next one, the bending moment at any section in a conjugate beam gives in the actual beam slope or curvature or deflection or bending moment. So in actual beam, what will be obtaining? What will be finding? Will be finding the slope or curvature or deflection or bending moment. So we will be finding the deflection. We will be getting the deflection. Okay. So see the following statement and tell me the answer. The first one. The displacement method is more useful when the degree of kinetic indeterminacy is greater than the degree of static indeterminacy. The displacement method is more useful when degree of kinematic indeterminacy is less than the degree of static indeterminacy. The force method is more useful when the degree of static indeterminacy is greater than the degree of kinematic indeterminacy. The force method is more useful when the degree of static indeterminacy is less than the degree of kinematic indeterminacy. So what is the correct answer? 1 and 3, 2, 3, 1 and 4, and 2, 4. 2 and 4. I think it's a repeated question again we are discussing here. So we will be discussing the final one in today's session. Which of the following is not the displacement method? Equilibrium method, column analogy method, moment distribution method, Canis method. So the answer is column analogy method. Okay. So this is column analogy is not a coming out of the displacement method. Right. So with this we'll be winding up the basic sets analysis session. Okay. I hope everyone understood the basic determinate and basic concept in this. So remaining we will be continuing the next class. Okay. Thank you.